Hello, my name is Olga Troitskaya, and I'm glad to welcome you to the course on cognitive science and decision making. Cognitive science is a multidisciplinary field that combines neuroscience, psychology, and behavioral economic approaches to the study of the human mind. This course will introduce you to the latest discoveries in these disciplines, with a focus on their implications for decision-making processes. You will learn the basics of how the human brain and mind process information and make judgments. This knowledge will help you increase your self-consciousness. You will be able to analyze not only what you think, but how you think about the problem. When we study decision-making, we usually focus on big decisions with long-term impacts, such as choices about careers or relationships. We are used to imagining the process of thinking like this. We often forget that people make thousands of decisions every day, from what to wear and eat to which task to take up and how to go about implementing it. Someone calculated that an average person makes over 200 decisions daily about food only. Let us reconstruct the way of thinking about the simplest decision. Imagine yourself walking along the streets. You spot a Starbucks coffee shop where you used to stop by and drink coffee with your friends. How would you reason about a cup of coffee? First, you need to answer an obvious question. Do I like coffee? Do I want it? Then you take into account an episodic context. Do I have time to stop by? Is this place crowded? How long should I expect to queue for my coffee? Do I feel tired and need energy? Am I cold or hot to drink a hot beverage? Should I have a snack as well? Do I have my card or enough cash with me? Then your brain will probably use some previous experience to help you decide. How many cups you have already drunk today, whether you enjoyed visiting Starbucks before and this place in particular. You may remember that the last time you drank coffee this hour in the afternoon, you felt jittery and nervous, so this time you would better drink water. You now see that making even the simplest of decisions involves complex information processing, calculation, retrieval of memories, use of motivational and emotional cues. Your brain does a fascinating job of processing huge amounts of data every second of your conscious life, producing good enough decisions that have been keeping you safe and alive for all these years. Even while you're sleeping, your brain continues to work, erasing information that it considers irrelevant for your well-being and encoding important pieces into long-term memory. But the brain is a physical object, and its processing capacity is limited by its sheer size. So during its long evolution, human brain has developed various techniques and tools to do its job efficiently. The brain creates mental categories for similar objects or events, known as schemes, using schematic reasoning extensively to make sense of the world. When there is too much uncertainty, the brain uses heuristics to make judgments based on the scarce information available. Emotional cues help detect things in the environment that cause pain or pleasure and launch semi-automatic processes in the body that urge the withdrawal or approach behavior. In life-threatening conditions, your brain and body produce stress response, pumping glucose and oxygen into your brain and muscles, sharpening your senses, so you can decide faster whether to run or fight. The same tools that ensured your survival also explain the fundamental distortions and flaws in human rationality. Cognitive schemes turn into rigid stereotypes. Heuristic thinking leads to cognitive biases. Emotional responses interfere with rational reasoning and prompt impulsive actions. It is interesting that different emotions exert different effects on your decision-making process. Sadness makes you risk-averse, thoughtful and indecisive. Anger, on the contrary, forces you to ignore the risks, act fast and approach the source of the threat. Prolonged stress leads to disorganized and erratic decision-making. This is what my course will be about. On one hand, we will discuss the evolutionary role and functions of heuristic thinking, personality, features, emotions, and stress response in decision-making from the perspective of neuroscientists and psychologists. On the other hand, we will analyze the limitations that biological and cognitive processes impose on human rationality. We will draw on the seminal works by behavioral economists Herbert Simon, Daniel Kahneman, and Richard Thaler to illustrate the typical cognitive biases in human thinking. So hopefully by the end of the course you will have a good idea of how the human brain and mind work during decision-making process. You will have a clear picture of the hidden forces that are driving people's choices and behavior. Finally, you will be equipped with a toolbox of strategies and methods that will help you improve the quality of your decisions. Let us finish the introduction here and move on to the first topic of the course, which covers the normative models of rational choice.